And consumers need to lead the charge on that. They have to be more, I think, astute and also blow the whistle on stuff earlier. I want to talk to Raffie Kalajian standing by right now, who's on from Security Pacific Home Loans. Raffie, welcome to the program.
Hello, my friend. How are you? And thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. All right, Raffie, you're out there each and every day in the trenches. What are you seeing in the context of today's announcement about the FDIC? What are you seeing when you're talking to young families and families are just wanting to get back into the housing market again? Where are we?
Well, we're a lot far ahead than we were, 6-7 years ago. You had my mom on your show yesterday.
Right.
And with all the awards that she's won, with everything that she's accomplished in her life, when you ask her what's the one single biggest joy of moving here to the United States, and her answer to everyone is owning a house and achieving that American dream. We're closer. We're not there yet. I think everything you said before we went on to the break was absolutely true. We cannot get the housing market up, which is very important in this United States economy. And in order to do that, we got to get jobs going. Yeah. Until jobs are there, the housing market will not fully recover. But we are seeing, obviously a tightening in underwriting guidelines. Loans are performing a lot better. Interest rates are at historic lows. And, loans are performing much better today than they were 7 years ago.
Now, Raffie, your company is doing, I think, quite well when you measure against other companies around America. What's made the difference? What are you guys doing that's different, that's allowing people to get back into home ownership?
Well, we're taking a look at, obviously we want to get every American into a house. And during the crisis, when any type of loan was possible for any type of borrower, we really took the time to educate our borrowers. I think that was the biggest downfall in this whole mess was there was a lot of programs. Loan officers didn't educate their borrowers. They sold them on loans that, promised the world, but it was horrible lending terms. And a lot of people got taken advantage of. A lot of people don't know how to read 60 pages of documents. That's where we come in. We sit there and we educate our borrowers before they go out and make an offer. They know exactly what the down payment requirements are. What
so
the
let me ask you,
Raffie,
let me ask you this: Are people willing to listen when you tell them, "Wait a second, David, maybe you shouldn't be getting a 5,000 square foot home. Maybe 3,000 may make more sense." In other words, are you able to, as you talk about educating consumers, are they willing to listen?
They are willing to listen, and they're actually coming to us and saying, you know what, maybe I don't need that 5,000 square foot house. A 3,000 square foot house is doable. Back 4 or 5 years ago when we ran people's credit reports, we saw debt that was out of control. Today, all of the United States citizens, if you take a look at it, their main goal is to be debt-free. We're seeing a lot more people paying off their credit cards, less spending on their credit cards, and not overreaching for something that is not attainable. They are living in their means today, which is a great sign.
Okay, now, Raffie, Sunday I saw a fascinating story on 60 Minutes where they interviewed a young man who had been doing the robo-signing back in the day. One of the things I tell listeners every day is that you guys work with licensed loan officers, people not in a boiler room operation, but people who are actually studying the market, looking at it very carefully, looking at all the rules and regs, and you're regulated yourselves. How does that work in comparison to somebody who's offering these unbelievable numbers that I know, as sure as the sun comes up every morning, the deals are bogus? You can't, when these companies are offering these imaginary rates, people are again falling into the trap. How does that happen?
Marketing, unbelievable. It's a marketing tactic. Companies out there know how to market to individuals. They know what the individual's ears wants to hear. They want to hear the lowest rate. Is it attainable? Most likely not. A lot of times people come to us after they've tried one of these bogus shops. They were promised a very low rate. It took 60 days to 90 days. They still didn't have an approval. And then they told them, oh, the rates have moved. We couldn't secure the rate long enough. It's those games against those selling tactics which put us into this financial mess, 6 years ago. On our end, we don't do it that way. That's why when you listen to our shows, we advertise rates that are what consumers are looking for. They don't want to pay 4 or 5 points to buy down the rate. No one wants to pay that many points today. The individuals and homeowners are looking for the lowest cost option with the biggest savings. And, before they get tricked, they should take a look at those documents. If they don't understand it, ask someone who has gone through the process to explain those numbers. Before you sign on the dotted line, you got to know what you're getting yourself into.
Raffie Kalajian, thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule. I appreciate the insights.
It's an honor being on your show, Mr. Cruz, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Okay, Raffie Kalajian with Security Pacific Home Loans. Let me tell you why I bring on Raffie. And yesterday, well, his mother sits on one of the national advisory boards to Freddie Mac. I mean, there's no doubt she's one of the top minds in the direct mortgage lending business. But when I see a report like today's 9.8% in California, it is very distressing to me. See, I don't see that as a stat. I see it as families.